Well, you have to learn to identify. You have to learn to identify the ignorances. What are the ignorances? Example, loneliness, boredom, impatience. And there are many more ignorances what we have to learn to identify. What do you do when you feel lonely? When you feel lonely, you seek a relationship. You call up a friend. Without learning to handle your loneliness, we are compensating the experience of loneliness by calling up a friend. But not necessarily all the time a friend will be there for you to indulge with. Another ignorance is perhaps boredom. So what do you do when you feel bored? Instead of attending to the source of boredom or source of loneliness, we may switch on the television or we may open a book. If that is the case, then we do not reach the source of boredom. Instead, we compensate. We substitute the boredom with a book or a television. Impatience, lack of patience. You know the speed at which we blink our eyelid? It's about 400 milliseconds. Every time you close your eyelid and open it, 400 milliseconds have passed. Now that is the speed with which we close our eyelid. And you know, the internet connectivity we have is about 200 milliseconds. The buffering, the other things, the download time is almost 200 milliseconds. And now that is too slow for us because we have become impatient. We want so much speed that we are investing in creating external stimuli for speed, external compensations for our requirement of speed, or rather our requirement of patience. Our impatience cannot be all the time solved by creating faster modes. So loneliness, boredom, impatience, discontentment. When you are discontent, how much can you keep on buying things? How much can you go to the mall and continue to shop things to bring contentment? Imperfection is another ignorance that we are constantly dealing with. Instead of being grateful with what is available, we could focus more on the imperfections and the disorderliness. So these are certain imperfections, these are certain ignorances. Now if our focus is on the ignorances and not researching the source of this ignorance, then we continue to compensate with external stimuli to take care of loneliness, boredom, impatience, discontent. And vanity is another ignorance that need to be understood with its antidote called humility. So without going to the source of ignorances, if you continue to practice ignorance, then ignorance become fortified, ignorance become crystallized, and ignorances become perfect. Instead, how do we disengage? How do we de-link from ignorance? And how do we start practicing wisdom? We have to practice wisdom. So we need to go to the source and eradicate, get rid of from the source. For that we need stamina and awareness to go to the source of loneliness, to go to the source of boredom, to go to the source of impatience, discontent, vanity, or loneliness. Many times I've been told by people that they are helpless in front of a leadership, which is unfair. I say being helpless is one experience, and to deal with unfairness in leadership is another experience. Because you could feel helpless in a traffic jam. So the important question is, how do you handle your helplessness? And having done that, you can find solution to handle your leadership or to bring about fairness in the way the leadership behaves. So delinking helplessness from attending to the fairness or unfairness of the leadership. Similarly, delinking myself, delinking ourselves, disengaging from ignorance and choosing to practice wisdom. You have to work to make things work. Things just does not work on its own. We have to invest time, energy, talent into working the machinery, into working the wisdom. We have to work to make things work. How do you become a good runner? You have to choose to practice to run. Then we become a good runner. How do you become a good cook? You got to choose to practice to cook. How do you become a good singer? You got to choose to practice to sing. Similarly, how do you work wisdom? By choosing to practice to work wisdom. That's how you become perfect at a wisdom-centric living. And it's when we are involved, when we indulge in wisdom-centric living, then there is movement. We do not stagnate anymore. Ignorance-centric living brings stagnation. And the nature of living is to move. And the movement is change. So how do we invoke change? By kindling some movement. To kindle movement, we need to meditate. We need to do breathing techniques to energize our system. We need to do asanas, stretches for the body to strengthen the tools of expression. And we need to enthuse the movement. And the movement brings about enterprise. You see, there is a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of enterprise. There's movement. It could be just the activity in the world. It's all movement. But yet, movement is not adequate. We need vastness. We need depth, like this ocean. The ocean that is deep and vast. And that is meditativeness. So here I have the meditativeness, the vastness of the ocean, alongside with the enterprise, the highways, the movement, the industriousness, the indulgences, the manufacture. All this together can be handled. We need to move towards that proactive movement to bring about change, to bring about enthusiasm and infuse energy into the ignorances. Therefore, delinking, disengaging from ignorance, you have to work to make things work. You become a good worker by repeatedly choosing to practice how to work well. We need to learn to work wisdom. And we need to have a merger of enterprise and vastness. This balance is the objective of meditations or breathing techniques, of awareness of the source of ignorance, so that we can delink from the source of ignorance and enhance our wisdom.